Senhoras e senhores, sejam muito bem-vindos ao Tchanka Podcast. Nesse episódio, a gente vai conversar com uma figura ilustríssima da cena mundial, ninguém mais, ninguém menos que Chris Edwards, The Godfather, que vai contar para a gente todas as histórias que ele viveu na época dos anos 90, quando o patins era gigantesco no mundo, tinha mais de 27 milhões de participantes, a trajetória dele nos Estados Unidos, a visita dele ao Brasil, como ele conheceu e ajudou a impulsionar a Fabiola da Silva e mais um tanto de outras curiosidades sobre os planos dele para o futuro. Beleza? Deixa seu like, faz a sua inscrição no canal, comenta aí embaixo, que é muito importante para a gente, para movimentar o algoritmo do YouTube e impulsionar o Tchanka Podcast para muito mais gente. Beleza? Tamo junto.
Chris Edwards, velho. Chris Edwards.
Chris Edwards. Mano, incrível. Completamente de cara.
How you doing, sir?
I'm great. Doing well. How you guys?
It's great, man. It's an honor, absolutely honor to be able to talk to you, man. You inspired a generation of skaters, and so thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure. I appreciate you guys. I'm glad to be a part. I love Brazil. You guys have been a major part of rollerblading from just about the beginning. You know, from at least the freestyle side. You know, all the crazy ramps and tricks. You guys got introduced from the days of Airborne.
That's true. Yeah.
That movie was huge here when it came out, and everybody watched it. I remember I went with 10 or 20 friends in the theater to watch it. And we came out of it so pumped to skate, so excited, and so proud of rollerblading. And you got a huge follow up here. Like a lot of people, or most of the rollerbladers I know, they know you and they're a fan of your skating. And everybody's surprised that you're back, and everybody's happy to see you online, posting their clips, and so involved with the scene. And we're doing this episode. It's a huge honor to talk to you. We've talked before, right? Remember?
So, yeah.
Through WhatsApp, I was gonna do business with you, but it ended up that it never happened for personal reasons. but yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to get products and everything down to you guys. It's always a struggle, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
that's true. You've been skating quite a lot, I know. You've been skating often, right?
Yeah, I have been now. I mean, as much as my old body can take it. I gotta stop every once in a while and take a couple day break, but I push myself, and just it's great to be skating on a more regular basis. Like I didn't ever stop skating. I just was not as involved in the industry. You know, things got so soft, and there was other people for the last 10 years. I did my part when I was younger, and now you got Alex Broskow, Affy, and Aragon. Those guys were like, Frankie Morales. They were all sitting ready. They took it to a different level. Yeah, Dustin Latimer. I mean, so many great skaters that were just continuing to carry it on. During that really the last 10 years or so. And I just took some time because I did nothing but travel for the longest time. I was gone, when during my career, I was gone every weekend, every week for like 20 years. So, a good 20 plus years, I was just in a suitcase. And it was the first time in my adult life that I just stayed in one spot for a little while. So, but I'm back at it again. I got my rest. I'm good now. I'm ready to, I'm back in it to win it, and however I can help and just continue to help this thing grow again. I'm here to do so.
That's great, man. That's great. So what we could say that aggressive skating's been about 30 years now, right? It's about 30 years now, right?
So it's over 30 years technically. I mean, I did the first rail in 91. I did and then we were filming the movie Airborne in 1991 and 92,
Yeah. So you could say there's 3 generations to 4 generations now of skaters, and then most of them, they don't know how big rollerblading was back in the day, how crazy it was everywhere, right? And it was even bigger than BMX and you were the face of it. So how was
Yeah.
the experience, and how was the being there? Now that after 30 plus years, you can look back and see how crazy that experience was, how it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was wild. I mean, I'm honored and you know, like just I guess I'm kind of lost for words for it. 'Cause I just like I was just at the right place at the right time. You know, I was a young kid who just fell in
Right.
love with skating when I was like 12 years old, and by the time I'm 18 years old, I was traveling the globe, and you know, we were just going out. And I mean, back then it was such a different, like we were introducing it for the first time to people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally introducing it for the very first time. And it was, you know, between rollerblade and Airborne and you know, all the commercial work I got to do and all that stuff, man. It was just it was like I said, man, I was living out of a suitcase for 20 years straight, just traveling the globe, promoting skating and doing whatever I could to get people excited about it, you know. And back then, you know, like catching air and doing the air stuff, like that was like the first big push, you know. So, you know, just getting people airborne and opening up their thought process of what was possible on skates. You know, and then once I made my way down some of the first rails, then you had, you know, greats like Arlo Eisenberg and you know, and Steve Thomas. They took the rail skating to a totally new level. And then you know, it's just evolved. It has evolved. What's great is that we had that initial first like boom, because the world had never seen an inline skate before, or at least, you know, that had never been marketed an inline skate. And just the skate alone was cool, you know, at first for everybody. And so that was a big help in pushing it, just the oddity of the skate. And then, you know, when you rise that fast, you're gonna fall just as fast and just as hard. But what we accomplished, with Daily Bread and Dare to Air and the movie Airborne in 1993. Next year will be the 30th anniversary of like what I like to consider the Big Bang, because it was at that moment, you know. The next year I had a pro skate with rollerblade. We had the first NIS, like the first world championships. So like 93 just like lit the world on fire, and just people worldwide, we got exposure out there and let people see what was possible on skates, and everyone's imaginations just started to run wild. And you know, it's 30 years next year, which is absolutely bonkers. But what we accomplished though was a very incredible core of human beings that legitimately fell in love with skating. They fell in love with what we all love. We're talking about it 30 years later.
30 years later, yeah.
Myself included.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that, every decision that I took in my life was based, the important decision in my life was taken because skates, my friends, places that I went to, everything involved inline skating, yeah.
Yeah,
it was all from skating. Absolutely, yeah. The English we're talking right now,
because of skating.
I learned because of skating. Yeah.
Yes.
In the hopes of someday talking to a guy like you.
Yeah.
Well, look at we pulled off the mission with what we were trying to do with Jess Darenforth, Andrew Walton, Chris Morris, you know, Chris Garrett, Dave Payne with Video Groove. And like, I mean, the mission was to create an international community of people who fell in love with the same thing we did, and we pulled that off. And the fact that, you know, sure, during the 90s, was it huge? Yeah, it was massive. Tons of money. Everything was cranking. Everybody and their grandma was getting a pair just to try. You know, but once that bandwagon jumped off and then it peeled away, it left a really, really amazing core. And that core has been sustaining itself. And not only is it still there, but it has not stopped progressing. The skating has not stopped progressing. I mean, there has been, between everybody out there, they have pushed it. So you have we are going into our 4th generation right now. You have the 1st generation with myself and Tom Fry and Arlo Eisenberg, Scotty Crawford, Manuel Balearis. I mean, B Love. I mean, there's so many great names that came from our era. And then we were able to help produce the 2nd regime, which, was ironically a company too, right? Because they knew that
Josh Petty,
with Petty and
Spicer, Zamora,
the monster, Jaron Grove, the Yasutoko brothers, there's you know what I mean? So the 2nd regime was absolutely on fire. They took my crazy kind of biker blading, big stunts, big airs, flying everywhere, and then the technicality of what Arlo and the street riders were producing, and they mashed it. You got Aragon and Haffey, they are two, and Broskow for sure, the greatest skater. Those 3 guys took both technicality and going big and married them together in such an incredible way that even still to this day, I don't think there's anyone that's been able to touch those 3. And as far as just ingenious, go big, also technical and very unique, no one's been able to touch Dustin Latimer either, just such unique individuals. I mean, there's so many more. It's hard to single out any one person without offending so many other great ones too, but I mean, it's been incredible. And then now that 2nd regime, along with the original regime, has the opportunity now to really support the 18 to 30-year-old skater now, who are part of the 3rd, and that are you have CJ and Joe Atkinson and and so many. I mean, I guess Montre and Frankie, those are really technically part of the 2nd regime. They're just beasts, and they're still going and keeping up with everybody right now. But there's just so many great skaters. Jimmy Sizz, who just won a local contest up here in North Carolina. But there's so many good riders right now that are unbelievable. Danny Beer, there's some really unique stuff happening within our current regime. And the kids now that are, 18 and under, especially the 12 and under, that's our official full circle. That's we now have my kids are skating, and we're real close to my kids skating. I have my oldest has a couple of kids, so I mean
really
kids are now going to be introduced. So it's here to stay. You can't knock us out. You can call us names, you can make fun of it, you can pretend like it's not here, but it's in your face.
It is here.
And it has not stopped progressing.
Skating isn't going anywhere. They tried, but they couldn't make us disappear.
You can't be a beast like that. We're what we do, look at when I am passionate about rollerblading. Everything that I did was for a reason and a purpose. I didn't just go out. Once I was signed with Rollerblade at a young age, I was put to work. I was a business blader. I was dedicated to growing our community and inspiring and teaching people how to skate and going around the world and giving high fives wherever I possibly could. And and that was my job, and I took it
couldn't be
serious.
a better person than you. You did a great job. I'm talking about, because there is so much into that. It's not only your skills, but your personality, your energy. You need to be that kind of person to be able to represent a sport like that.
It's very important.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's the right way of doing it. It's the right mindset, and it's what makes people fall in love with it, because they feel like they're part of a community. They feel welcome. They feel like it's something that they can take for their lives, that they can make it happen. When you meet a person that does something impressive, is a pro skater, and it turns out it is the best person, and it's welcoming you, it just changes everything. It's wow, I can do that too. I can be a part of that. That's incredible. And you got the right mindset, and No wonder why you're the godfather of rollerblading.
I appreciate that, and man, and I take my role very seriously, and it's sometimes it's really hard because I am just a human being, and like I'm no different than anybody. It's just I was propelled into this position, and I even times when I'm just not in the mood, like I didn't have a choice. I had to be in the mood. I had to go out there and smile and wave and high five and be good with everybody, even when I got personal, gnarly, crazy shit happening in my life. Like just like you had to game face on at all times, and and that's I gladly wear it. I owe the community everything. Like I wouldn't. There's no way you cannot be a legend without people telling legendary tales.
Yeah.
Right. We're all one. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, and if it wasn't for everyone who supported me in my career and believed in what I was doing and was stoked to emulate and be better than me. Like that's incredible. And it's it's such an honor to be able to have been in that position. And I guess now I'm back in it, and I'm liking it now, probably more than before. I was never really a competitor. Like I don't really like to compete. Mm-hmm. I skated.
Yeah, me neither.
I skated when there was no industry. There was Rollerblade Incorporated. That was it. That was the only company. It was Rollerblade Incorporated. They had their wheels poured by Kryptonics. That's when I started. I was saying that when I started skating, there was only one company, and that was Rollerblade Incorporated. And they had their wheels being poured by Kryptonics. That was it. That was the extent of the industry. One company.
that was the whole thing.
That was it. That was it. That's when I started in I got my first pair of like Zetras in 1985, and then I signed with Rollerblade in 1987, and then the Lightnings came out and changed the game. And then it was original team Rollerblade like Jess Darenforth, Chris Garrett, Alan Vano, Jimmy Tremble, myself, and we really wanted to make it into a segment. We believed in what we were doing. We knew that what we were doing, people were going to love it if they had a chance to see it, had a chance to learn it, that they would love it the way we love it, because it's just crazy fun. And then
it did really well, because we in Brazil, without internet, without nothing, we could get access to skate because of Dare to Wear. Actually, did you have anything to do with that Rollerboys?
Movie.
Yeah, that was actually the very first movie I watched, because that one was in 1990. But I wasn't skating.
That front flip scene was you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I never knew that. I was searching on the internet to see if you were in the movie. Who else was in the movie skating with you?
Corey Haim was the only other real notable. It was like when Corey Haim was like a huge star in the U.S. at that time, but he was kind of on his way out. He was unfortunately started getting addicted to drugs and things, and just ran that course. Ultimately ended up killing himself, which is awful. But he was a great dude, though. God bless him. And he was shoved into American Hollywood fame at way too young age, and unfortunately, the way Hollywood and really just the way fame works, I experienced a lot of it myself. Like, as soon as you're not the top dog, man, no one really gives a shit about you. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate you guys. You guys, you appreciate me, and especially now that it's many years later, we can talk. But when I was in my prime, everyone wanted to kick my ass, and that's just the way, of course. And that was my purpose, was to go out there and show what could be done. And if you are not producing people that are better than you in your life, then you're failing as a human being, is the way I look at it.
Nice words.
Like,
talking about that whole
sorry, yeah, go ahead.
All right, talking about this whole Hollywood stuff, it's I'm very curious about how it was for you to work on a Hollywood production set with all the Hollywood people, and especially I think in Airborne it was more like probably a bigger production than production company and a bigger set than it was in Rollerboys. How was it like to work with like stars and all the Hollywood people, Hollywood studio? So how was that like?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I'd love to do it again. It's a blast, man. It's a really good time. I was I did Mighty Ducks 2, I did Mighty Ducks 3. I was able to teach all those kids how to skate and do a bunch of their stuff in their movies.
Wow.
Meet a million stuff, that was great. And then in Airborne, I knew a young Jack Black and a young Seth Green and the rest of the cast. Everyone was great. And, I mean, you work hard for a 2-hour film. It takes you 6 months to get a 2-hour film in, like working every day. You wake up and it's not as glamorous as you would think. You're sitting on the sidelines with your skates strapped on, you're not moving, you're totally cold, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Okay, let's go." And there's like, you gotta go. And it's like you don't really get much of a chance to warm up. It's just like when they're ready, and you gotta go. And in most productions like that, it's a lot of just standing around, and by the time they get everything set up and they're ready for that shot, you've been waiting for them. But you go into hair and makeup and all that fun shit, and
is that how it was? That stunt that you jumped out of the back of a truck? They were like, "Okay, Chris, let's go. It's time to go." Is that how it was?
Well, that
time to risk your life.
Yeah.
that particular scene was kind of an all-day affair. So that one took us a while to set up because we had, we were pulling in the truck and getting it up and getting all the players ready to go. Like there's if you watch in the movie, there's a couple of guys in work vests holding up a big pole at the back end of the truck.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that pole is there, so I know where to go. Because before I go to jump, I couldn't see the truck. I couldn't see shit. Like all I could see was way down there, like 4 stories down, and I aimed for the pole and I jumped and prayed.
How many times did you do the jump?
That was a big ass jump, man. That shit was no joke. That was high as hell.
Yeah,
that was high as hell. And the first time I almost overshot the whole damn truck because I was so pumped. But then I ate shit good, tumbled and tossed myself all over the damn concrete. But then I got up and my second take was the one they ended up using because I compressed so hard, but I slid out really nice and cool looking and then kept skating. So we're like, all right, that was realistic. That's probably what would happen. And if you're in the race, you don't really care about style and how cool you look. You're just trying to win the fucking race, right?
It needs to look
So
natural,
true.
right?
Yeah.
It needs to look natural, yeah.
Yeah, we worked hard on that movie to make it natural feeling.
And I think it did, right? Because you had a lot of input in the movie. And did you think it came out the way you wanted to show rollerblading at that time? Because for me, that rollerblading was that time. There was a lot of street jump, a little bit of rails and ramps. There was people dressing with hockey gear, as well on the streets. There was a lot of that, right? That time. Yeah,
I mean, there was, and we wanted it to be as timeless as humanly possible too. I mean, and it's working out because you can watch the movie today with your kids and they're gonna love it, and it's like it still holds up. It's a good, clean, wholesome, fun action movie that really showcases rollerblading at its best. I mean, we showcased it the best we could back then without letting it get cheesy, and making it look like a typical generic Hollywood film. They really gave us some leeway on it, and it's really a great movie, and it inspired the world. That movie.
It did.
It did. Absolutely did. Absolutely.
It was amazing. And when you're talking about the celebrity part of it, did you think you reached the top of celebrity when you went to Brazil?
Did I?
in 96 when you went to Brazil?
Yeah, that was insane. Like, definitely Brazil was the most insane place that that I've.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. The man, when I came, because I think I came in 93, or it was the beginning of 94, because the movie came out in 93, and then Airborne had sent me out to Brazil. They started sending me around the world because they were pushing the movie. So like all of the tail end of 93, and then all of 94, I was doing a lot of Airborne touring, like just showing up by myself. I don't know why they sent me around by myself, and and have me go around and do ramp demos and skate with the locals. But man, y'all Brazilians came out in like the tens of thousands. It was insane. It was wild. I couldn't believe it because, like, you guys, I don't know. I think I told the story when I was on the Jump Street podcast.
Yeah, we heard that one.
Where the limo, I was in a limo, and man, they all shaking the shit out of my limo. 6 bodyguards come, like, make a circle, tell me to hold on to my shit because everyone's gonna try and grab it, and they were. Everyone was trying to grab. You Brazilians are crazy. Leave my shit alone. Go get your own shit.
But did he get you pumped up to going on in the ramp and do your best? Did it?
Oh
do you
yeah,
feel like
there's nothing like a live audience, and I back then I thrived off of it, and I needed it, and then a lot of times, like, I didn't get much warm up. Like in Brazil, I didn't get any warm ups, man. It was like by the time I was warmed up, they were like, "Oh, we're losing the crowd. Get off the ramp." Like, so it's like you go and you feed, and you just like you pull your inner strength and just dig down deep for the people that are there to see you, and believing so much in skating and believing in what we're doing. It's just you feel compelled to deliver. I mean, it was my job was to deliver the most of myself as I possibly could everywhere I went, and I always did my best to.
Is that the time where you first met Fabiola? Was that the first time?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that story.
Well, I mean, it was fast. So like, because we'd come into that big ass skate park that was like part roller rink, part skate park, vert ramp. Like, that place was insanely big, and it was packed. And I remember trying to warm up and get ready to toss a few things, and then in comes Fabiola, and she tosses this huge backflip, and I think she was only like 12 years old, man. 12, 13 years old. And when I got back to the States, I was just like, we hunted her down. I was like, you guys gotta pick up this girl. There's something like really special about her. She's already throwing. And back then, like, people were not doing backflips. Like, it's like, this is not like, you got to put it in perspective. And, there wasn't very many people going upside down back then. I was one of the, like, in 93, 94, I was like the only human being on the planet doing McTwist and like big 720s and really flying way the hell out of the ramp at that point. It wouldn't be until like in 95 people like Cesar come in and start really going equally as big, if not bigger, and like where the world started to creep in and catch up to what I was doing, and passing it, which was incredible. But at that time, there wasn't anyone there yet. We were just introducing this to the world. It was the first time Brazil had ever seen that kind of thing on rollerblade skates. Like, it was new. And she was already, at 12 years old, dropping in on a vert ramp and, grinding and doing backflips. It was like, what the hell? Like, this girl's already got it, and then, look, man, she turned out to be Fabiola de Souza. I mean, the queen, legend of all. There hasn't been a female that can even come close to her yet. They're trying. They're getting there. There's some great ones. China's amazing on street,
Yeah. Love her skating.
Yeah, she's incredible. But I mean, you have people like Kelly Matthews, and there's been some really great female skaters, but Fabiola just came in. Dawn Everett, she was incredible. But when Fabiola really started to mature, by the time she's in her early 20s, 18, early 20s, man, she was out of this world. Double backflips, flat spin. Yeah, just unreal. Going higher than the guys. What she was like, what, ranked 5th in the world amongst men.
Exactly.
Yeah,
amongst men.
That's
and
unbelievable.
During the time that everyone was killing, was not in a time that was in the
when Vert was at its peak and at its prime, you know. And you know, I mean, that means that they're saying that the only ones that were better than her at that moment were the Yasutokos and like maybe Mark Engelhart and
Marco De Santi as well.
Yeah, Marco De Santi, you know, like it's pretty amazing, you know, that she was up there keeping up with those kind of guys, because there was still Nell Martin, there's still you know, Cesar was still in the game, Shane Yost. I mean, there's some incredible skaters that were still in there playing, and she was keeping up. It was absolutely amazing. I couldn't be more proud of her. And you know, you know, life has its reasons, and you know, Fabiola's me coming there for that Airborne helped us and introduce the world to Brazil, and the baddest woman to ever ride on a pair of skates is Brazilian.
Exactly. No, she's amazing.
Yeah, it is, man. It's incredible. I mean, you guys have a rich history. I mean, you guys have had a lot of great skaters. You really have, that have like, and you know, Brazil's always been on the map from the get-go, and through all of the frustrations and sometimes hard to get products to you guys and all the you guys find a way, and you continue year after year to keep pumping out great skaters.
That's true.
It's
awesome. It is. Yeah. Somehow people get good here. Somehow they can. I mean, over there, I'm in Japan, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah. We want to talk about what you're doing nowadays. You know, you took a break about 15 years, 10 years, or 15 years break.
It was actually probably like close to 10 years. Close to 10 years.
Close to 10 years of not being involved in the scene, but you've been skating and looking from outside, like you mentioned before. And but now you're heavily involved, and you're doing events, you're doing projects. I think you still have the Chris Adams Foundation.
We're trying to get that up and moving. As soon as we got it like officially cranking, we'll make a little more noise about it. But I basically just, you know, when I come back in, I kind of want to just like start where I left off, in a sense, you know, and just pick up some things I've always wanted to do when I was in the peak of my career, and had things not just bottomed out. I may have had the opportunity to do them, and now I'm, you know, just aiming for some of the stuff that I have wanted to accomplish. And you know, and for me, my motivation is just helping people and getting people on skates, and making, you know, and just celebrating our community and worldwide. And however I can make that happen, you know, we'll be doing that. So the foundation is definitely in play still. We're, and like I said, as soon as we have it where it needs to be, because it takes a little bit of time to make it an official nonprofit and go through all the paperwork and all the nonsense.
And what's the foundation about?
It's about giving skaters out there an opportunity at a decent career outside of skating, since really at this point probably a 0.00001% of our community will actually be a pro and have a chance to even make $1 skating. And you know, most of our community is just folks that love to skate and support the industry, buy products and go out and skate and make great friends, and you know, are part of the overall environment of what we do. So you know, and without that 99%, there wouldn't be any legends. I wouldn't be here with you today. There would be nothing to talk about. No skates would be sold. There'd be nothing. So they are truly the most important part of, you know, of what we do. And so I want to give back to skaters and develop a scholarship program. In the last like 10 years, I owned a contracting company. I flipped a bunch of homes. I learned a lot about the trades, and And so we're going to get scholarship money to get skaters into a trade school and teach them something that they can use for the rest of their lives to be able to make money, sustain themselves, sustain their families, and, you know, have something there besides skating that can give them income and a way to live comfortably and to still enjoy skating.
That is great, man. That is great.
That's great. That's a great idea. That's an amazing project. Congratulations.
That's what. Thank you. I mean, so much stuff has been happening, and at the same time, you know, it's like just taking it all in. But I moved down to Miami a few months ago to be here with Frankie. Frankie Morales is like my little brother. You know, I mean, like I discovered him here in Miami back in the 90s, took him on my tour, and he was a kid. He was like, you know, same thing as like Fabiola.
I remember him in Nice 98, I think. He got Salomons on. He was just a little kid.
Yeah. Bald-headed, riding Salomons, killing it with 900s off of the spine.
And didn't show up for the finals. He didn't show up for the finals. He's supposed to run, but he never show up.
But he's done the Frankie Morales Invitational here. He just opened up a shop. We're starting to do lessons and teach kids here in the Miami community. We've got a few other projects that we're working on, and just trying to get people on skates and just keep pushing as much as we can here in the Miami area. But I'm working on some stuff for next year, so I'll let that cat out of the bag here soon. But I have some big aspirations for next year, because next year's the 30th anniversary of Airborne. It's the 30th anniversary of Dare to Air, the 30th anniversary of Daily Bread. So it was essentially, it's when it all really came together, when our hard work leading up to it from behind the scenes, and the Team Rollerblade guys having to do this without Rollerblade's help, we found a way to do it. And, you know, and we helped spawn this worldwide community. So next year's the big celebration of it. I will be doing, I can let this out of the bag. There's another element that I'm working on, but I'm not comfortable to talk about it until it's a little bit. But I am, this element is going to happen with or without the other element, I hope. I'm planning a 30th anniversary of Airborne. I'm in contact with all of the cast members. I am in contact with the writer of the movie. We are going to be selling some packages to folks. We're hoping to sell 150 to 200 packages, which would include everyone's meals, your lodging, the buses. We're going to tour you around to the movie sites. We're going to lock down the hill where I darted between the cars and then jumped over the car on that bridge. We're going to lock that hill down so that you can bomb it. And then we're
that is so cool.
Yeah.
We're going to build the vert ramp underneath the bridge again, and you'll be able to ride the vert ramp. And then we're going to put the wall ride, so you can do the wall ride there under the bridge, and a little skate, little skate park and that kind of fun stuff. So that's what we're hoping to do. If we can generate the capital, then we'll be able to build the ramp and do all these cool things. And the garden, the garden scene, we're gonna let people go skate that, just because it's cool, just to go cruise around in that crazy garden. So I got a lot of stuff in the works, and that's my big one for next year, the Airborne reunion. So Facebook, there's a Airborne 1993 page. Log into that, become a member, and keep in touch with what we're doing. I've got people in Cincinnati already on the ground helping. We've got all of the locations mapped out. We've already talked to the police off. I have a fellow skater, Spencer, who's and another awesome lady, Heather, Heather's just an avid movie fan. So she's just a fan of Airborne and fan of Shane McDermott, and like she's a movie fan, but she started the Airborne 1993 page on Facebook, so we've been helping her with that. And then Spencer lives in Cincinnati, so I mean we have the whole thing mapped out. We've got we've been looking into how much the buses are going to cost, everything. So I mean we'll be able to pull off building the vert ramp, paying for police officers, and then covering everyone's food and lodging and everything. It's going to end up being, for us to be able to really pull everything off and get all the actors there, and be able to have a movie screening with everyone, and all kinds of other just fun little things that we got planned. But it'll be about $2,500 a person, but I mean it's going to cover everything, and then it'll help us be able to do a once in a lifetime kind of thing where we can lock all these things down and like get to bomb the hill with me. Like I'll bomb the hill with everybody. Let's go.
That's gonna be so amazing. That sounds so exciting. Like it seems to me like the dream event. Like wow, if you guys are able to pull that off, that's gonna be so awesome.
We're hoping to. I mean, it's gonna take the help of the community. I mean, like we're trying to keep it as affordable as possible, but we also want to do a bunch of cool badass things. And we're gonna give everyone plenty of warning. Like here, you guys are getting the first leak. So, but we're getting close to putting up the packages. We'll hopefully have the packages up by June, and then that'll give everyone a little over a year's time. So we'll offer it and give people the opportunity to make monthly payments on it, and and consider it their vacation for next year. So you can say yes, I'm going. You can secure one of the limited tickets, and then just make a monthly payment on it, a couple $100, $300 a month, and then your experience is paid for. And like I said, it's going to cover your hotel, so everything but your airline. It'll cover everything but your airline, so that'll be your only other expense. But once you're here, we'll take care of you, and everything will be taken care of. And so we're working hard on that. And then we have another big endeavor that God keeps opening the doors, so it seems like it's got a really good chance of kicking in next year. So I'm hoping to pull it off. We'll see. I'll make that announcement here soon. If we got a couple more things to put into play, and then we'll be announcing it. I mean, look, we're trying to create something that hasn't been created yet, and it's if we can get it pulled off, it's going to be something that I hope to travel around the world with, and I think that it'll be great for all of the communities worldwide. So if we can pull off what we're trying to pull off next year in the States, then we will definitely be aiming for Brazil, Japan, Australia, and Europe to bring what we're trying to pull off to everybody. I'm trying to do a grand celebration, inline or quad, whether you race, play hockey, dance, slalom, do rails, do ramps on inline or in roller derby. Like I'm gonna make I want to try to pull all of the communities together for a series of big fun throwdowns, live music, art, photo, that kind of stuff. So
it's amazing. Yeah.
We'll see. It's a dream of mine, and I've always wanted to do it. And I when I wanted to do it, I don't think everyone was quite ready. Like there's so many great things that can be done on skates, so might as well celebrate it all. And I think that I've been pushing since I've been back that like we're one. We're kind of like and the more that we can operate as one and move as one, the more powerful we become. It's just like we're like, we can either be the lonely goldfish, or we can be some fucking piranhas. Be some piranhas.
But, I have one more question, one last question before I let you go. But do you have anything, Fred, you want to ask?
No, you pretty much covered it all up. The plans for the
Yeah.
future was my last question, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So what I have is, you, in my opinion, have one of the most iconic tricks in the whole extreme sports, not only inline skating. The
Yeah.
540 Mac twist. Chris Edwards
Yeah.
540 Mac twist. I mean, I don't know, just the rotation, the amplitude, the
Yeah.
style, the commitment. It's just turned into in one like it's such a unique trick that only you can do. And to this date, I never see anyone doing the way you did. So I want to
Yeah.
know, like, walk me through how you learned it. Who was there? You know, how long did it
Well,
take it? Was Arlo there trashing you on the top of the ramp when you landed for the first time?
no, I don't know that Arlo wasn't there the first time. I started, uh, I grew up in Southern California, and I lived right next door to Mike McGill, and
Mhm.
Mike McGill, pro skateboarder, who did the McTwist in skateboarding. He had a skate park, and he would let me come in and ride back when there was really not too many people riding. And he had a huge vert ramp, and I would ride it, and then I would watch him do his McTwist, and I would get a couple of pointers from him. And then I ended up, through everything, meeting Fred Blood, who is a roller skater. Fred Blood's a legendary roller skater who
Mhm.
actually was the first person to do that body movement on roller skates, but it was spider stance, so it's still a little more skateboardy. It wasn't quite like
Oh yeah, yeah,
one,
yeah.
two, right? So mine's real unique because I'm coming in forward, and then I'm emulating, getting into that movement that they were doing. And mine's a little bit like, mine basically has an extra 90 kind
Mhm.
of look to it, you know, so it makes it like flop a little bit, but it emulates a lot from those two guys. They both had given me pointers, so I learned it from the guy who taught Mike McGill, and then Mike McGill essentially kind of inspired me, and then Fred Blood also inspired me as well. And when he saw me doing it, I was like, holy shit, you're doing like I did that. You know, but you do it a little bit differently. And and
Which year was that? Which year was that? You remember?
I was doing McTwist by 19, probably 91, 91, 90,
Okay.
Wow, that's so
91.
early in the game.
Yeah.
Those big boosty McTwists that you see and everything, that's all by 1992. Definitely
Mhm.
91, 92. Like Dare to Air, there's quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And then
Hoax as well.
a lot of the ads were pushing around in 92. So I think I had the rotation down probably in 1990, but then the grabs, all the different variations that started I started getting really comfortable with that rotation. So then I think what really defines my skating, I think, is I love doing grabs, and I don't like you don't see me doing rotations without some kind of grab.
Mhm.
Like I
Mhm.
don't just rotate just to rotate. There's a purpose for my personal me. I feel is like, if you're not grabbing, then
Yep.
like at least if I'm not grabbing, I don't want to condemn the world. But if me personally am not grabbing, then I'm not happy. I won't do just a spin just to spin. Like it's got to have some flavor in it. And I think that's what has separated my skating, though. It's just that old school loving to grab, doing big grabs in the middle of rotations is, that's my gig.
So the stale fish came later, or you call Japan style. What?
Yeah, the Stale Japan came, like that was 92. Like I was doing the rotations in 90. Like if you watch
Mhm.
the Jump Street, there's like a picture of me. There's a shot of me doing a McTwist in some of their intros
Mhm.
on a vert ramp
Yep.
without the grab. A big one on a black ramp. You just see this big 540 that's rotating like a McTwist, but without a grab. That's like 1990. That footage is from
Oh.
1990. And then you get into 1992, and then by 92, I'm doing judos, I'm doing stale Japans, and then by like 93, I'm doing rocket McTwists. So,
no,
It must
amazing.
be a hard one.
yeah, rocket McTwists are buck wild. Yeah, you're completely upside down. Like the pictures of a rocket McTwist are just nasty. Like heads at the coping, legs are pointing out to the flat bottom. It's just it's a buck wild trick.
So when are we
Yeah.
going to be seeing another McTwist from Chris Edwards? Do you think you can still do them?
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna promise anything. I'm skating a lot, but man, I'm 48, man. I'll be 49 this year. I'm pushing 50. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't the case, but you get old and shit just don't quite work the same. I've also, butchered the hell out of my body for over 3 decades. And, what really pisses me off is if my left knee wasn't so blown out, I feel like I would be skating. I feel like my skating would be elevated for sure. I'd have a lot more motivation, but I'm really nervous of my left knee. I've had 4 surgeries on it. I've lost my ACL. I lost my ACL. I have a cadaver in there now. I got some other person's ACL in my body. I've twisted my knee so bad that it knocked a piece of bone off of my bone. I've ripped my meniscus. Like it's just like once I lost my ACL, it's just been really easy to hurt again. And so I've had 4 surgeries on it, and I just but I'm gonna have to really, really, really work hard to get it, to where I can trust my knee. I'll probably put a good sturdy brace on, and then the rotations is where and it's every time I've lost my knee is in a rotation, and so like it's like my left foot it's when you're rotating, how it feels. Sometimes you over rotate a little bit, man. Your knee feels a little funky. So I've just like every time I rotate is when I've done something really gnarly to my knee. But whatever. It's just an excuse. So I'll just have to work my ass off and see if I can pull one off before I'm 50. I hope I can.
Now, just to see on blades again, on wheels again, it's amazing, man. Yeah, it's when you announced that you're going to be back. I mean, it's back in the scene and back being involved in every contest. I see you there with the microphone, talking to everyone and representing. It brings a smile to my face, honestly, to see you there. Yeah, it's
so true. So I'm so happy to have you back in the scene, and it's great to see you involved in all contests and being there and the same vibe of pushing everybody to skate good, and so excited to be there and excited to see the new faces. You're a legend, sir.
We needed that, yeah.
You're a legend, sir. And and we're so happy that you agreed to come here talk with us. It's an honor. It's been an honor. And we wish to see more from you, and hopefully all the Airborne celebration will be perfect. We will just work out the best way possible. Hopefully we can even make it.
I hope so. I mean, I'll put it up there, and I hope to see people from around the world. It's going to be open to everyone. It'll be the first 150 people to sign up will get to have the experience. So with that amount of people, it's just enough. Like we've worked out a lot of numbers, so it's just enough people to be able to pay for a vert ramp under the bridge, and pay the police officers to lock down for us, and all the hotel rooms. I mean, that's a lot of hotel rooms, and so it's it hopefully we can make it happen. We're hoping there's 150 people out there that would love to have the Airborne experience like this and get to meet Seth Green and the rest of the cast, and it'll be incredible. It's just it'll be awesome. So but you guys just keep doing what you're doing in Brazil, man. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate your dedication. I appreciate your guys' involvement, and none of us would be here without each other. So You know, it takes two to tango, as they say. And you know, you can't have a dance by yourself. You got to have other people around you, and you know, the more the merrier. And especially people that are as dedicated as you guys. You guys are doing things. You're doing what you can to reach out to everyone in Brazil and let them know the history and how things have been. And I appreciate you guys for that. And you know, try to do more events. Events are, you know, it's always good just to have events, even if they're small little best trick events, and you know, just pop events off around. Just give everyone a reason to stay motivated and get out there and be a part of it. You know, people
Yeah.
are pulling it off all around the States without a lot of money. There's, you know, it's really to do an event, you just need a location and a couple of people to manage some judging, and you know, that's about it. Someone to yell at people on the mic. Do it. Better.
That's great.
Sir,
Well, yeah.
thank you very much. It's been an honor to talk to you. It was a huge honor to know like some of your story. I think a lot of people in Brazil is gonna love everything that you had to contribute to our podcast. And thanks for the kind words. We're trying our best to make everybody in Brazil, especially the people who don't speak English, to know more about the history of rollerblading. And you've just contributed immensely to that tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. And as soon as we get the episode ready, we'll let you know. We'll send you a link. Like Carlos said, it takes a little while because I have to subtitle the whole thing, and it takes a long time doing it. It's a lot of work. Yeah. But we'll let you know and wish you the best of luck with the Airborne experience. In my opinion, I think it will sell out all the tickets really fast.
Absolutely.
People would be completely interested in it. And I'll let Carlos give you his final words too.
No, I appreciate that.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. I think our industry couldn't have someone to represent the scene better than you. Like I say, it's not only the skills, it's also the personality, the energy. So you bring everything in one package, and so you're the right person for the job. And I'm really happy to have you back. So to do this, thank you so much, man.
I'm glad to do it, man. And look, I want to, you know, I want to thank like John Julio and so many Billy O'Neill, Frankie. There's been so many guys that have like really carried that torch there for this last 10 years and kept it moving. They found a way to keep everyone motivated and skates on people's feet and products. Matthias over at Power Slide. I mean, there's just been so many great people that have continued to contribute and kept us moving here and got us to this position. And you know, now that I'm officially an old school rollerblader and officially getting older, I'm enjoying this ride probably more than the first one. And the first one was one hell of a ride. But I really am so full of pride and so proud of our community and all of the people that have continued to make it great. And you guys are a huge part of it. And Brazil, I love you. And next time I come there, keep your hands off of my shit.
Awesome, man. Well, all right, I'll be there, but I won't be reaching to you. All right? It's okay.
Won't touch your stuff, but we'll give you a hug probably.
Yeah.
We'll do hugs all day. I need my pads, so don't take the pads from me. All right.
Great, man. Thanks so
all
much.
Right, Chris.
No
Have
problem.
a great
Everyone,
evening.
man.
Thank you very much. Catch you later, some other time.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Bye. Ciao.